Peace to the guys, man. Peace to the guys. It's my our first time going live with you on YouTube, so yo, peace to the guys. How you feeling?
Man, like champ.
Yeah, man. Before anything else, can you post your cash out in the comments? Maybe I can pin that up. And then we'll get into it. You got it up there?
Hold on.
Got some cool little topics with us for tonight.
Okay. I'm gonna put my cash app and my PayPal, so you have both of them.
Appreciate it. And then I'll just keep reverting into that every time if somebody asks, or it's just in the comments off top. So man,
You
OG,
you can pin it.
Let me see. I didn't see it pop up in the comments yet. And I'm gonna get better with this as we go on. Forgive me, y'all. Yeah, I don't see it in the comments yet.
Hold on, I'm not there.
Most definitely got to get better with this. First time on live on YouTube. Huh?
It's the post. The comment is that comment failed to post.
Okay, well, don't worry about it. I'll get it up there.
I'm gonna text it to you.
I say, peace. We see you too. Now, okay, we on there. I say. So, man, first thing first. OG, how you feeling? There's a lot been going on in the universe. Yes, sir. Real quick, man. You know we in the year 9. That's an Oya number, right? And you see all these storms and stuff going on. You heard anything about Yellowstone?
Yeah, all the animals are leaving, but you know the internet's fact checkers say that it's not true.
You
know how that go.
Yeah. No, preparation prevents poor performance. OG, also I wanted to ask you, because there was a lot of stuff they were asking us last time about minerals and stones and stuff, and we never got to it. So I want to get straight into it now. I don't know if we ever had that conversation before with you. I know I've had a conversation with Dr. Phil when he was talking about the firmament, right? Being in the dome.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody asked in the comments, and they asked a real good question. They said, how do we get meteorites that come down if we're in a dome? If space is not real, where are the meteorites coming from?
I'm not from the philosophy of the dome.
Gotcha.
It's not a dome, it's a radiation belt. You can look it up. It's called the Van Allen belt. So when anything that comes through the Van Allen belt is going to catch fire coming through there, because the temperature is so high. But the fire is missing the luminous element. But it's hot enough that anything come through that radiation field to the earth is going to catch fire. Now they got something in the layers of atmosphere called atmosphere. The only way to get through without burning, trying to exit, is you got to time the atmospheric windows.
Your phone breaking up real bad, OG.
What, you want me to go out and come back in?
No, I'm just saying maybe your phone needs to stay. I'm not sure, but it's kind of breaking up a little bit. Because we really couldn't hear what I didn't
My
hear what you
phone
said.
is okay. So I'm gonna say it again. There's
Got
something
you.
in the layers of atmosphere have something called atmospheric windows. If you don't go through each layer where the window opening is, the result is, remember the Challenger that exploded going into space?
Yeah.
That didn't catch the window. So when they tried to pierce through the radiation belt, it blew up. They told us it was some kind of fuel leak, but they mistimed the launch. That's why they don't go straight up, right? They thought they could blow it up. Operation Fishbowl. You can't blow up a wave of radiation. It's just not going to happen. Anything you send up there, the radiation is going to increase the heat. If you send a bomb up there, it's just going to blow up right there in the radiation belt. It's called the Van Allen belt. The Van Allen belt is Pleiadian light lock and is reinforced by an Arcturian conjure support, right? That's why it's a verse in the Bible say who can loose the bands of Pleiades, right? The reason why it's asking that question is because the Pleiadians put us in the light lock to settle the conflict in the confines of Earth without interfering with other systems outside of the Earth realm, right? But there's also the secondary factor of holographic projection that's also simultaneously being projected at the same time that we are in this field, right? So it's like putting an energetic bubble. The shape of it, when it's not, the general shape is a torsion field because it's drawing on the natural frequency of the earth and the natural frequency of the sun. And that's why the sun and the Schumann resonance is melting away the illusion slowly but surely. This is what we're seeing with the um, spikes in Schumann resonance. They are upgrading DNA of all species on the planet. But at the same time they're doing that, they are creating a different vibrational frequency where the old paradigm, the old hologram will not be able to sustain itself because it'll be on a much lower frequency.
So
From third dimension to dimension, that's frequency change.
yeah, no, that actually just really happened. I can't really explain it. I saw it on one brother page, and it was a sister. She was really speaking about it. The frequency changed within the last couple of days. It went blank. Instead of going peaking up or going down, it went blank. And then they were describing it, and I was telling you that my body was hurting. I didn't know what was going on. I'm thinking it was me thinking something was going on with me, but then I started hearing a lot of people going through the same thing. So the energy changes. And then you talk about DNA upgrades or downloads or whatnot. You know a lot about blood types?
Well, a little bit. That ain't really my field, but I know a little bit.
I got you. I got you. The little stuff that I've been like what they're saying about activating DNA and everything else. I was doing the research on the Rh negatives. And some of the stuff that they're putting out there really don't make sense, but you know they kind of put a lot of false information out there too. But I don't know, man. A lot of the stuff that's going on right now is saying it's to activate the Rh negatives.
No, that's the original. The O negative is the original blood type.
So why do they say
universal donor?
So real
all
quick,
the other blood types can get a transfusion from O negative. All of the positive, Rh positive, can get blood donations from O positive, but they can't give it to the negative blood types. Right? It's only universal to positive. Whereas the O negative is universal to positive and negative. That's how you know it's the original blood type. right? And then we know that the other ones derive from genetic isolation and diet, right? So when we're looking at the story of Hanuman, right? Hanuman is the Hindu monkey god, right? But that's in India. In China, he's called Sun Wukong, the monkey king. But Hanuman was trying to figure out a way to give everybody ascension rights. What they call in the rhesus factor is the genetic line of the Hanuman.
Yeah. I didn't think you were gonna connect that just like that, but you went straight forward. No, man. Okay, because when you say original, and you're saying some have the monkey DNA, but then they say the O, and they're saying they can't explain this O factor in, and that goes back to the meteorites and everything else because they're saying the meteorites are bringing down DNA. So I'm trying to figure that out. And I've been collecting a lot of different meteorites myself, but they're also magnetic. Some of these are magnetic stones, like the iron tektites, magnetic stones. And there's a lot of these different stones that we've been working with for years that they don't want to talk about, but they're actually out there space mining now for these magnetic stones. So just saying it like in general, how stones activate your DNA, where you're talking about the Zodiac sign. The Zodiac sign is also a part like the map to your DNA. So that's what I'm trying to connect huh?
The Zodiac sign tell you what sector of the stardust accumulated at the time you was developing. So if you're born under Taurus, when the energy was coming in from the Taurus constellation, it landed on your genetic blueprint, right? So you have the influence of the frequency that came from the Taurus constellation in higher abundance than somebody that's born in, say, Pisces, right? The Pisces constellation influences the Pisces the same way, but it don't have the same effect on the Taurus. But it got all of the 12 constellations have an effect on all of the people. No matter what your zodiac sign, right? And the goal is to try to embody the highest quality, because as you go through parts of your life, you also going through the zodiac wheel, right? So you might be so dominant, but you also will have, you also have the recessive of the other 11 zodiac signs, and you have to master the negative qualities that's coming in from that frequency in order to master the zodiac wheel. This is how you get to your fool's journey, to your hero's journey, or Osirian resurrection, right? The goal is for the divine masculine to vibrate masculine energy at the same frequency, different polarity of the divine feminine. So the original zodiac wheel, it had Taware or Taware as the centerpiece. She was sitting on the throne of heaven, the first god, the oldest relic of a deity known to man is Taware or Taware, right? The hippopotamus goddess. They use the symbol of the hippopotamus because it tells you the protective nature of the mother, right? But it used the mammary glands of the woman, right? And she used the back of the crocodile. The crocodile spine indicates the upright because it don't bend. Like you ain't never seen a crocodile stand on two legs, bend over and pick nothing up. His back is straight, no matter whether he's crawling on his belly or he's standing on two legs, his back is always straight. That's the symbolism attached to Taware having the crocodile back going to the tail. And then the tail becomes the prop, right? And then she had the lower extremities of a cow. Right. So now that's in Kemet, you going from the hippopotamus goddess to Sobek priest to Hathor with the legs, but sometimes she's depicted as having owl's feet. Right. So now it's telling you she's aerial, she can fly, she can swim, she can traverse the land and walk. She becomes in the same vein. The goal in masonry is to teach the man to be upright, right? To taking from horizontal to perpendicular, from laying down to standing up. Don't stop at 32 degrees because you're still bending over. And if you're bending over, it's a good chance you're going to be kissing some ass, right? So you got to stand up straight. So if you stand up straight, standing on 0, your head touch 180. Your feet is on 0. Your head is standing up straight. Your head is on 180. That's a half a circle, right? So if the physical and the spiritual is in alignment, you got 2 halves of the circle, a 360, right? And if you can see on the earth what you see in the stars, now you have the 7 above, so below. But the reflection of the universe is inside you, so it's as within, so without. As without, so within. So we talking about learning how to return to your state of divinity, right? That go back to the Hanuman story, because all of the guys couldn't stay in Hanuman, but he always completed every task they gave him, right? So when he went to China and became the general, he became the Monkey King, Sun Wukong, the only undefeated general. And he was fighting who? The gods. And they was using what? Conjure magic, hypnosis, poison, right? But he had a superpower. He had a staff that was so heavy when he wielded it shakes the foundation of the earth. Right? But it can also be shrunk down to the size of a pencil for him to put it behind his ear. That means he's a student, right? Pencil behind the ear. He's a student and he's a warrior, right? Because he's lashing with the staff, right? When you go to Psalms 23, it say thy rod and thy staff shall comfort thee.
I mean, I see.
Ain't a rod and the staff the same thing? So why do they make the distinction in the two? Metaphor. It's a metaphor. The metaphor is I ride chief and
Damn.
send me
Chief.
information.
Chief, my bad. Run that. As soon as you started giving that code away, you started glitching. Can you say that again?
Yeah. So the ride, me, Chief Pontiac, and his staff, the collection of chiefs that told me it's your turn to work on the problem. Right? So that's my staff. They all gave me a piece to the puzzle. And the more chiefs I can recognize, the more pieces to the puzzle I can collect. The more pieces to the puzzle I collect by studying the different tribes that they call them gangs, right? They call them mafia, but they families and tribes. That's all the tribe is an extended family, right? Under the leadership of the most loved and most respected in the family, your Don Corleone, the Godfather, right? The Godfather, godlike ability to organize and protect his family without having to leave the comforts of his own home, right? So when you go back and watch the movie The Godfather, they telling you a story about running a family. Everybody think it's a crime story. The criminal activity was just a means to finance the tending to the family. But what did What did Don Corleone do to Mike? He sent him to military school, put him in the army, right? Sonny was the heir apparent, but he was too hot-headed, right? Fredo, who should have been the heir apparent, was too retarded. He thought he was smarter than he smarter. He thought he was smarter than he was. And he thought he understood the game better than both Sonny and Michael. And in the end, he turned out to betray the family. It's telling you a family struggle to keep the family together. But they emphasize it as a crime story to give us in the hood who's surrounded with criminal behavior the understanding that no matter what you into in the streets, you protect and take care of home first. A lot of these young guys, even in my era, we didn't think about what effect our activity in the streets could have on the home where our fathers, mothers, and sisters and brothers live. We was just out there just getting it in, putting in work, what they call it, right? We was squabbing on the block. We was knuckling up. We was running them fades, right? But some people think that they man and they can't take a whooping. If you can't take a whooping, you shouldn't be out there participating in the activity that might get you whooped. Because you're going to suffer the consequences of the rest of the ones in the hood. They coming from where you coming from, right? So the rule was, before this gunplay came in, if I run a fade and I lose, I got two options. Let it go, my first option. Take my L and go on about my business. Take it as a lesson so it don't be a loss, right? It's how you perceive your L. My second option is will and determination, go back, get better, come back and try again. That's the hard way. The gunplay is the easy way. That's the cheater's way, right? This is why when you study the Dogon mythology, you tell the Nomo told the Dogon, do not use the projectile weapons. Guns wasn't even made yet, and they was warning them about them, right? So they knew they was coming because they knew who we was at war with. So the Dogon traced back to the reptilian line of the Sirius constellation, and now you understand we are reptile mammalian hybrids. If we wasn't, we wouldn't have a reptilian brain with two mammal brains on top of it that indicated two different eras of development. We went from Homo sapien, the old mammal brain, to Homo sapiens sapien, the new mammal brain, right? And then they mix up ancient bloodlines that no longer exist with the modern and reigning bloodlines. Ain't no Neanderthals. Hey, we keep about Neanderthal. Well, if you look back, they want the Neanderthal to be the pale-faced European. Neanderthals weren't pale-faced, first off, right? Because the dominant trait of the era that the Neanderthal was here was the melanated chocolate brown skin, right? And the ones who's classified as the gods had magnesium-based blood, and that gave them the shades of blue and green, just like plants, because their blood was more like chlorophyll, right? So when we start understanding a long time ago that we two different bloodlines, the reptilian bloodline and the mammalian bloodline, and then they mixed.
Well, that goes back to, because like I say, I think the statistics, a lot of this stuff they be lying about, we already know that. They were saying that most O negatives come from Europe or European, or RH negatives come from European ancestry, right? And I think that's weird because every time you see people talk about what their blood type is in the comments, they usually say, especially people that are melanated people, they always say, oh, O negative or something like that. You see what I'm saying? So I'm like, somebody lying for them to say it's so rare, but so many black people go, huh?
Okay, now you got to look at our fields of study. All fields of study that we have before us is called Eurocentric studies. What do that mean? That means that the center of the perception comes from Europe. That means that when they tell the story, they're going to tell it from the viewpoint of somebody from Europe, asserting their dominance over other people. Remember, they just been studying us for a couple hundred years, but they've been studying African, Asian, and European for a couple thousand years, right? Herodotus, the father of history in Europe, a Greek. Who is the father of history on Earth? America is the land of Tahuti. So if he was the one who invented magic, he invented history, he invented mathematics, right? He invented writing, he invented architecture, right? The multifaceted God. There's no other God recorded in the history books that was recorded, because it's a whole lot. It's for everything that's recorded, it's about 100,000 times that's not. Everything you went through yesterday, that shit ain't recorded.
You're right.
Then one day you're gonna be a prominent figure, and your whole life not recorded. Only your key aspects. People don't pay that no attention, because when they get a biography, even an autobiography, it don't tell you the entirety of every day of a person's life. It only tells you the cliff notes, the highlights, what we call the compelling story. But what about the boring story, right?
Mm-hmm.
The walking to the store.
Shadow work.
I'm not. Don't nobody tell. That's not a highlight of anybody's story. That hey, we get up and we go to the store. We buy potato chips, Fago, Pepsi, or whatever, and a snack. That's not in people's biography in that fashion. As if that's a day by day. Even when you journal in your life and you journal day by day, you only journal the things that are important to you as an individual, that you want to look back on in the future to see what you came through, right? That's the shadow work. That's the purpose of journaling. It's supposed to assist you in seeing where your errors at so you can correct them. But people don't know how to correctly journal, so they just write gossip in there. When you read some of these diaries and journals that these people keep, it be stuff like, Pat, get on my nerves. I can't stand that wench. And we're like, this is what they journaling. But they're not journaling that how I perceive Pat. Why do I perceive her in the manner that make me not appreciate her? I can't stand her. What emotion is that? What did she do? And is that emotion in context? Right? So you got different people telling these stories of great individuals, but they still not telling you the whole story because they can't.
Yeah. Yo, so you heard about the sage fires?
Yep.
They
Cleansing
have a lot
air.
of it's one called the blue dragon fire, I believe it's called, something dragon, and the other one's the white sage.
I know about the white sage, but I don't know about the blue dragon flower.
Yo, man, so like I said, it's the year 9, it's the year Oya. Peace to everybody in the tribe. Peace to everybody in the tribe, man. This is our first time. They're saying that we should have promoted a little bit better. This is our first time, man. Y'all gonna have to forgive me. But in all these prophecies and everything that's going on, like what's going on in Yellowstone, meteorites landing because they sure didn't crash. And like I was saying about Oya being over all the weather and stuff of this nature, right? Like, Oya do in certain kind of sacrifices, right? Those kids that came up missing were rich kids. That's the sundown time they hit.
in that flood.
Yeah. Those were all rich kids. Like that was a sundown town. They
Don't
say,
surprise
like,
me. It don't surprise me.
No, it's a lot going on in the universe. There's a lot going on in the universe. So yeah, back to these, because like I say, that was one of the big questions they were asking about these tektites and stuff of that nature. You can feel energy from Lil Bro was supposed to be tapping in because we were talking about iron tektites, meteorites. I have one from Egypt called Prophecy Stone. We got Moldavite. We have Living Desert Glass, Moldavite. You familiar with Moldavite?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so all these different stones, and that's what it really was, trying to figure out. Because I know Dr. Phil had told me one time, he was like, those were pieces of the firmament breaking off. But I kind of think I agree with your whole terminology to it, because like you said, it's coming through. If we are rotating, it's coming through little portals or little holes in the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? So other than that, you ever heard of the
A lot
Devil's
of these
Tower?
stones. Yeah.
Or what we saying?
Yeah. A lot of these stones are underground. They dig the stones up. No, they supposed to be coming from the sky and they digging them up. Now, it's a real powerful stone called an Andara stone. It looked like a big old chunk of colored glass, but it's so powerful just looking at a picture of it is powerful. Having a picture of an actual Andara stone, right? They also call it Andara crystals. But to have a picture of one, you can still use the energy of the stone. That's what they are. Right? And they come in different colors and they got different properties with the different colors. Now, a lot of people believe that those are made from the pyramid wars and the nuclear fallout because they are big chunks of glass. But whatever they caused them, they cause to be different colors. Normally, the melt from sand produces a blue color, kind of like the Merlin stone.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So all of these stones, the ones that they digging up out the ground, is part of what the earth is. And the earth has a lot of different frequencies to converge, overlapping, in order to give us the appearance of material. Everything is atoms, and it's all an illusion. Everything is atoms. The arrangement of the atom determines the output of frequency that the particular object have. Right? So some of these stones is just alive as we is.
Most definitely.
But they're alive from a different angle.
I was gonna get into it with the DNA thing because, like I say, they're talking about that these are star seeds, the same way they say we star seeds, the same way they can break down that we're stardust, etc., etc. And then I know, but last time we were talking about all those different black stones. So we were talking about jet, and I know they were saying that we never got into it, but jet summons shadows, whereas other stones that are good for your blood, like somebody asked me to make a piece for them after that live, they were like, "Yo, make a piece for me that will help activate my DNA." So of course I went to, okay, well, what stones are cleanse your blood first? So of course hematite, bloodstone, ruby, moldavite, carnelian. They said carnelian is the blood of a set. Petrified wood, selenite. And I mean they've done rituals all throughout the Bible, Quran, Torah, where they use their blood to activate stones and everything else. So that goes back to the stones being alive. Even in Islam, that whole black stone that they're talking about is a meteorite, it's tektite. It's just a huge tektite. But they say that on their judgment, that tektite is gonna grow eyes and a mouth and start testifying against the sins of the land. You see what I'm saying? So to activate your stones, sometimes some people have stones and whatever and don't know what to do with them. But if you got a piece of hematite, a piece of ruby, especially carnelian, bloodstone, moldavite, cut yourself. It's called bloodletting. Cut yourself a little bit. Put your little blood, a couple of drops of blood on your stones to activate your stones.
But you know
So
that also depends on what you're activating the stone for. Because if you're activating it for a reason, for the wrong reason, and you put your blood on there, that's gonna make your karmic backlash powerful. So you gotta know. This is why most of the people that get into the occult before they start using that stuff, they've been in study 3-4 years on one little topic: stones, tarot, astrology, right? Because they start understanding real quick that they dealing with something that's going to generate power from within. And the proper application of these rites is required to get the best benefit. It's like eating clean versus eating junk. Right? Once you understand that all of these rituals have its own energy signature, there's certain stuff you don't want to put blood on. Then there's certain stuff that if you use your blood, you put your personal signature, which amplifies your magic by your internal power of self. Most people don't activate the energies within them because the system has taught us to put ourselves in conjures. The Amen spell. Tell your inner guide to go to sleep. Your ego is. And your ego haven't been purified yet. You haven't done any shadow work. Right? If you do your shadow work, your higher self merge with your ego. This is when you be referred to as a genius. Genius, the root word of genius is genie. The root word of genie is jinn. Right? So now we talking about the what the Islamic world called that's the equivalent of demons to them. But they'll tell you that all jinn ain't bad.
First thing they tell you.
Yeah. It's just like making gin in your bathtub versus a professional distillery. One of them gonna have what's called dirty alcohol. And the other one is gonna be purified alcohol. And there's gonna be a better quality of gin. The dirty alcohol gonna give you headaches when you drink it. But the clean alcohol, you're gonna be drunk, you're gonna come down off the drunk and like, woo boy, I would toe up. Right? And that's what the difference between expensive alcohol and cheap alcohol. Right? And so now you're talking about the spirits. The same way you distill alcohol is the same way you distill your spirit, drip by drip. One piece of knowledge by one piece of knowledge. And if you don't ask no questions, you're not building yourself.
I say. That's what this channel's for, man. I'm the master student of Orisha Stone. This Rod Hayes. One more time, Rod. If you said your message didn't let you put your Cash App and stuff in there?
Not in there. I texted to you. I had to text it to you.
Okay. I'm gonna get it up there, man. But I'm real big on trying to support yourself and other great leaders that they do a lot. You know what I'm saying? Y'all put a lot of information out there. So if y'all can, please support Rod Hayes. Give him a follow. Check him out on Instagram. Also, if you want to support my page, you go to Instagram, check out our jewelry, our technology. I'm real big on mineral technology, mineral alchemy. Also, man, what you heard about the Essence Fest?
Nope.
You ain't tapped in there yet?
I ain't heard nothing about this. Is coming up.
No, it already passed by. So apparently, you know that an African bought the Essence magazine, and the lady from Target was an African lady from one of the places over there. She was working for Target. You already know we were supposed to be boycotting Target. They sent her over there to Essence to be like the new CEO or whatever, and they changed the whole. This is why it's kind of important when we be dealing with Orisha Danny and other people that make events, like grassroots events for the community, so we can like vent and have entrepreneurs and stuff out there vending, because once you go to these events, now they're raising the vendor fees up to $500 to $1,000. Mind you, they only playing their music. They're playing African music. They playing they you know what I'm saying, their thing, but they don't even understand the essence was started for Black women in America. You see what I'm saying? So that was a big thing they were talking about. And what'd you say?
A lot of the reason why we not doing that stuff no more, because you gotta remember, when you go back to the 70s, that's when we was losing all of our functions. The government was overthrowing everybody that had a brilliant idea. They say you can't have it unless we give it to you. This is what made them go to war with the Panthers, the Black Liberation Army, the movement. All of these people was doing community work, trying to bring the community together. Them the ones that was targeted for neutralization through COINTELPRO. Right. So they created a condition that made us not want to do nothing with each other, because of the people that look like us that ain't us, that keep selling us out and cutting our throat. And we thinking they our brother man, but they really the other man.
That's why I brought it up to you, because it's like, yo, it's proven itself over and over again in real time. Things you've talked about for years, and they came over, they restructured it, they made sure their people were in there to vend, their people, like the whole point of us doing our events and doing stuff for ourselves is so we can support our entrepreneurs, our artists, etc., etc. So it's like when they kind of take over our things and move us out, now you got, like at the Zora Fest is probably about $500 to vend now. Whereas back in the day, it'd probably be $50 to $100 to vend. So it's like they're trying to block us out of opportunities. Back in the day, we could vend in New Orleans. We could just go up and set up on the streets off Bourbon Street. Now you can't really do that because you got to have paperwork and everything else. And they even to the point where they have the white people doing the drum line now on Bourbon Street. Every time you see the drum line, it's all white people. So they got their little ways of trying to, I don't know, man, just write us out of history, I suppose. Hey, Chiefs. Oh, peace, got a Chief Tuscaloosa in the building. So yeah, man, I'm just looking at all the different things that's going on in the world. Hey, real quick, right, man, are you real versed on the Book of Enoch?
Pretty. I read it a few times.
So with everything that's going on, we talking about these tektites or star seeds that come down from above. We're talking about blood types. In the Book of Enoch, do you think that that's what's activating a lot of people's blood right now? That's why you're having so much crazy stuff going on. I know the solar flares, the heat, but you see how much, like right now, you got people that's not putting up with the coons that want to. There's a lot of coons out here that run these people's establishments for them. The girl Afeni Muhammad, I believe, where she was, they could say mental health and everything else, but those solar flares start hitting. There's a lot of stuff that got to be straightened. A lot of these different people that are taking advantage of these structures to turn around in turn to take, you know what I'm saying, to abuse their own people. Like you said, the ones that look like us and not us. And it's backfiring on a lot of people. Let me tell you anyway. So,
but, you know, we starting to recognize them, though. They starting to show themselves.
Yeah.
Right? Because when we tell them that we not Africans, they get so angry because they lie not working. Right? And the rage that they put out, you froze up, God. The rage that they put in to trying to convince us that we ain't from and we from somewhere else, tell us who they is. Right? They want us to leave out of Africa. Say again?
No, I said you're right, because they mighty focused on what we got going on over here. Everything we got going on over here. You see what I'm saying?
Look, the whole world been watching last 10 years, wondering which one is going to see through the charade and make the claim in the public domain to liberate the rest of the world. Because when you overthrow the oppressor anywhere in the world, you overthrow him all over the world. because it's the same MF. It's the same people, right? So they just don't like to be seen because they can come hide out in our community, right? We all remember being little kids and we see some rich dude pop up in the hood, but we don't know where he came from, where he got his money from. He's filthy rich and he's trying to fornicate with every one of the sisters in the hood. But he ain't there. He just popped up rich, already rich. Where you get rich? Again, they got the children to grow up, they get a different reality and a different disposition. When we used to run the fade, they catch us in the heated moment and convince us that the person that won was worthy of death. But when our culture, he wasn't worthy of death, he was worthy of respect because he handled himself like a man. In their culture, they can't stand to lose. They can't stand to lose, and their whole system is based on artificial information, misinformation, disinformation, propaganda, misdirection, illusions. And if you see through it, they get instantly enraged that you see through it, and you become everything but a child of the Most High in they speech. And all you got to do is watch. Wherever some peaceful people congregate to try to uplift us, they come sliding in the messages with some hostile BS that don't got nothing to do with the conversation. Right? And you let them tell it, ain't nobody got no honor but them. But they don't got no honor.
That part.
Right? We be seeing them every day. They be carrying on. They act like black Karens, but they men.
It's always been like this.
At least males. I don't know if they men, but they male. Because they into the other alternative lifestyles. That's why they push that agenda so hard.
Yeah, no, man. The push for the black dollar is going crazy right now, and like you can't hide nothing no more. You know what I'm saying? It's 2025. Everything is out in the public. You know what I'm saying? Public domain. It's funny how you were talking about the Crips and the Bloods and Red House and Blue House and all that because what's Ruby versus Sapphire?
Red and blue.
Ruby and Sapphire is the exact same stone. Just like you said, with their kin at the same time, they're the hardest stones outside of diamond. The same house is just one is red, one's blue, same exact stones. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, no, America got a lot, like it's a lot going on. I see a lot of people coming together. You see all sorts of people like the 607 unks and everything else because it's weird because now people that wouldn't have the ghost conversations because we might not be able to connect with everybody. Now it seems like certain agents are waking up from all around the globe to do their part. However they're doing it, you know what I'm saying? Whatever role they're playing their role well and they're waking people up because now I'm seeing people walking up down the street talking about conscious shit because they heard some shit 607 Unk said, you know what I'm saying? Something Rod said, something. So I think this is a crazy time right now. There's a lot of amazing stuff going on.
You know, so 607 Unk, when he first came out, he just like he BDGD, Vice Lord, Blood Crip, right? And people was getting mad at him, but they didn't understand what he's trying to do. He's saying, from the position I'm standing in, we all the same people.
Facts.
And I can be any one of them people, right? Because they all family to me. And I can see above the shenanigans, right? I got friends that's BDs. I got friends that's GDs. I got friends that's Vice Lords. I got friends that's Crips. I got friends that's Blood. I got friends that's Pyru. I got friends that's 5%ers. I got friends in the Nation of Islam. I got people I done broke bread with in every nation. So now I got to go to fight with that nation because somebody else told us we was each other enemy and we ain't got enough sense to figure out for ourselves that the enemy is the one turning us against each other by infiltration, by flooding our community with drugs, promoting sexual promiscuity, right? And they don't know that the reason why we fighting each other like we fighting each other is because the enemy needed us fighting each other so they could continue to rule while we fight each other. Somebody got to rule. If we busy fighting and killing each other off, who gonna rule? Who gonna govern the land? So since we so busy warring tribes, right, we ain't running the fade no more like we used to, because we have a lot of the OGs around that got murdered back in the day to tell us, you know what I'm saying, the real deal. The ones who spotted the police infiltrators and got murdered right before he was able to tell his brother man who the other man was, pretending to be right? Peter Tosh, in 1983, he said they look like I, they walk like I, they dress like I, but those are the agents of Lucifer himself. Right? Lucifer got a bad rap because they can't show you nothing negative that Lucifer ever did. Right? They don't know that Satan and Yahweh is the same person from two different cultures. Satan is in Set, Lord Set from Kemet. Yahweh is in from Babylon. All of the modern religions is founded up on books that was taken from the Babylonian captivity by the Black Jews. They want us to think that the Jews that left Babylon was pale faces. Boy, no pale faces down there yet. So how that's gonna happen? Because all of the pale faces we know today, your Ashkenazi, your Sephardi, your Khazarians, they are all converts to Judaism, and they all use Talmudic and Mishnah, and they use the Torah to convert. So not until you get on the inside do they give you the Talmud and the Mishnah. They use the Torah as the tool to convert you, to give the appearance of being chosen by their God. But we don't believe in that for one reason. When our God created us, he gave us the Americas. He gave us Turtle Island. But when they God created them, he didn't have nowhere to send them because he ain't supposed to be here. So they became nomads, wanderers. What they say when they kick Cain out of the garden, you would be what? A vagabond and a wanderer in the land. You know what a wanderer is?
Somebody ain't got no home.
A wanderer is an Arab. Arab mean wanderer.
Yo, Chief, it's crazy. I know you might not rock with too much of the Aztec gods, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the Aztec gods, you know, me and bro be talking about it all the time on the I Say Network. Shout out I Say Network. But peace to the guys, peace to the guys. But the funny thing about it is, their gods were conqueror gods, and that's why you see the hawk or the eagle on there killing the snake. We don't know where these people came from. They don't know where they came from. The people that's down there in Mexico right now will tell you that something brought them down there so they can, occupy the land because they didn't have no land. That's their history. So it's crazy, like what you just said. So
look, where do the Chinese belong on Earth?
China.
And in China, they have a whole bunch. They got Mongolians and Huns and several other tribal classifications, but they are Chinese. Where do the Japanese belong on Earth?
Japan, right?
So they got several different, they got several different tribes of Japanese in Japan, but they're Japanese. Right? And when you go to Africa, you got many different tribes in Africa, but they all was from Africa. They had a home. The people from India, where they belong? India, right?
Yeah.
Because that's how they are synonymous with the land of their origin. Right? The only people who don't got a home is wanderer. They have to camp up. They have to camp out on other people's land because they ain't got none. They ain't from nowhere. What they do, just pop out there and how we here? That don't make sense.
They
So your God promising you a land. What'd you say, Stone?
No, they were soldier hating on you. As soon as you start going in on them, they started chopping up. But we got the picture though, most def. Keep going though.
So if you guys chose a people, he would have had a land for you when he created you.
Thanks.
You would be synonymous with somewhere on the planet. You wouldn't be getting kicked out of everywhere you go all over the planet. Unless you don't belong on the planet. Right? So
Thanks.
Elijah Muhammad say everywhere they go, they cause mischief and bloodshed. They come between two peaceful people with their lying and deceiving ways to turn one against the other. And then they offer them a solution so that they can appear like the savior. That's what he teaches. Okay, now, I always add, they offer you a solution, I add for a fee. Because it's always going to cost you something to allow them to mediate. If you can't see through their shenanigans, you're going to be fighting each other because they started the conflict between you. Bloods and Crips is cousins. Some of them is brothers. You got them growing up in the same house. One blood, one Crip. Right? But when you trace us all back, you start getting down to what we call the Mississippi Delta. All the way down into the Louisiana outlet of the Mississippi River. All the way up into the Missouri River. We populated the land from the rivers. We lived first on the rivers as fishermen, right? But then we begin to become farmers and we begin to have harvest the natural animals of the land. When we was farming, we didn't have to captive our animals. We didn't have to put them and pin them in. We let them roam the land. And the right? So when they talk about the Buffalo Soldiers, the Buffalo Soldiers is the Buffalo Clan. My Buffalo, but they not wearing water buffalo helmets, right? You had they had the same dress as they wear on Buffalo Soldiers, Buffalo team.
Hold on for a second, Chi. You there?
Yep.
Man, my bad. You started going in and it started buffering on us. You were talking about the Buffalo Soldiers, Buffalo Clan?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was saying that they make mockery of them on the Flintstones. That same headdress that the Buffalo Lodge wear on Flintstones is the same buffalo helmet that they used to wear over here, but they used to wear the whole pelt. The Buffalo Lodge hat was like dressing up, but when they going out to harvest bison, they dress up like a bison and walk among the herd until they pick the ones that they need to take out of the herd in order to feed the people. When the Europeans start making their way across the Great Plains and seen all them buffalo, and we tearing their tail up from among the buffalo, they said the buffalo turning into Indians. We got to kill off all of the buffalo because they keep turning into Indians. So to get rid of the Indians, we got to get rid of the buffalo. So then they came up with something called the Buffalo Trains. In the Buffalo wagon, they be riding across there shooting buffalo from the train or from the wagon, right? They was paying a hefty price for buffalo pelts because they believed that when they killed the buffalo, they killed one of the soldiers that was dressed like a buffalo. They didn't have enough sense to know he was just dressed up like a buffalo. He a 7 foot tall, 365-pound Mississippian. He and so trace the Black Panther is the black leopard. The leopard is ancient to the black leopard is the stealth priesthood, the ones who go to a society and blend in with society in order to find a solution to the problems that's facing the society. And this is why all of the work the Black Panthers did was uplifting work to the people that was oppressed, which was us. But they got infiltrated by people that look just like us. So Tupac said to tell me it's the white man I should fear, but it's my own kind doing all the killing here. I can't lie, ain't no love for the other side, right? What else he say when he got shot? He said during all my riding, all my laying it down on the line, put everything out there for our people. I never in my life would have that somebody that looked like me would be. Remember him saying that?
Yeah, I do.
He's telling you they look like us, but they ain't us. And then we can start seeing the fingerprints of their infiltration. And it was a melanated individual who brought Garvey down with the mail fraud and got him exiled. Get rid of it. It was some people that looked like Noble Drew Ali on his Mufti staff that gave him over to the police.
Hey, Chief, like, you think that you could talk a little bit slower because it's buffering up? The sound keeps messing up and they really trying to tune in to, you know what I'm saying, everything you're saying. But like you can slow it down if you want to, like, because I know I got a lot of stuff I'm shooting at you, but yo, you can, like, if you can slow it down just a little bit so it don't buffer on you. You there?
I think it's buffering because the system.
Yeah.
Information we going over is critical information. We can't control them buffering us. We blame it on X, but I got full internet access. So it ain't that.
Yeah.
On the StreamYard, but the StreamYard don't always do that, so it ain't that.
Yeah,
it's outside interference.
This whole one was real special for me tonight, and I really appreciate you for even tapping in because I know we've done it several other times before, but this was the first one we did on our StreamYard, so this is kind of weird. So you know, it is what it is. But real quick, if you have any questions for Rob, please put them in the chat real quick, and we'll get to them. Also, like I said, man, if you want to support Rod, hit his Cash App, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Hit him up real quick. Rod, I want to ask you a question. What you got on the Cabbage Patch Kids?
And Cabbage Patch Kids was part of the orphans that was brought from Europe, right? A lot of people think that they was cloning. They probably was cloning too. But a lot of those children, you got to remember, it was a drawn out war in Europe before they came over here that was going on concurrently to the invasion of the Americas. It was domestic warfare was taking place in Europe. So a lot of people was being killed in warfare, left a lot of babies with no parents, right? And they was bringing them over, especially during the Ellis Island immigration. This is when they started bringing mass amounts of pale faces over here. That's why most of the pale faces, they always say their family been here 120 years, 150 years, but they ain't been here no 200-300 years. Anybody that's been here for 300 years is absolutely amalgamated with the tribes, including the ones that look like us that ain't us. Now we got them black devils in our families. And the problem with that is we so family oriented that we protect that rotten son of a gun, and because we love our families. They don't give a damn about no family. This how you another key trait to recognize them. They literally have a history of selling their children. We literally have a history of doing horrible things to people about our children. Right? When you have somebody willing to sell their parents and their children, you dealing with a dirty war.
Some next level. It's man, OG. That was another topic that I wish bro was in, but it was crazy because the people that we talking to, I'm doing business with different people, and once you start doing business with different people, you start hearing how they really feel about certain things. Like one person hit me up, they were like, and I don't want to explain too much, but they were just saying that they would go to the other side for the financial gain because they want more than the community. They're bigger than the community. And when I heard that, and I mean, this person's supposed to be friends, like, but when I heard that and then realized what they were doing, it was like, damn, you didn't switch to that side. Anytime anybody, like, I'm really against that whole coon and bedwish thing. You know what I'm saying? So now we got the so-called conscious people that don't mind flipping to the other side, don't mind doing whatever they can for $1. So now it's like this conscious thing's not even looking real because people really will sell you out for anything. You know what I'm saying? They'll sell you out for anything.
That's why I don't do nothing. That's why I don't do nothing for money. If people send me donations, I'm cool with that. But I don't solicit donations. It's standard when I come on other people's platform, they already have it established that they ask for donations for their guests to support their guests. But I never came out saying he sent me something. Because I don't care about their money. And you know that from personal experience.
No, yeah. That's why I always ask for, like, this is why I'm big on it, because the people I deal with are entrepreneurs, right? I have a product to sell. I sell jewelry. Like I said, if you go to Orisha Stone, if you know and don't know, but somebody like Rod, somebody like Sister Myra Moss, all these great leaders that what they provide for us is bigger than anything in the 3D realm. They're providing something for us that can help you spiritually, mentally, financially, all these different things. You got to realize Rod still has a light bill. Rod still has to eat. Rod still has gas. You know what I'm saying? So we take care of the griots. We take care of the Levites. We take care of all these people for a reason. That's the code. We just forgot our codes over here. So that's why I say, yeah, I do ask if you do got something like, look out on OG Rod, look out on any guests that I bring on. I'm bringing them on for you to support them. You know what I'm saying? So go to, we can go follow page, like, comment, all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, you know, if you can send him $5 or $10, that's love. You know what I'm saying? So please, most of them, I'm asking you, look out on OG Rod. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, just the economy, man. Because God has just asked. I mean, Maurice Cuffy, where are we in the continuity of the government process now?
End game.
End game. I say
we at the end game. Look, a lot of people don't know it, but everybody they think locked up ain't locked up no more. Some of them names not even on the prison roll call no more.
I heard that.
Right, and when it all come out, it's gonna come out like busting open the floodgate. Everybody gonna be able to see what's what. They gonna look when they find out that Rob is telling the truth the whole time and been so sincere. A lot of the people that was protesting against me for no reason, because I didn't do nothing to them, right? But they didn't like the way that I deliver my information or the way I look or whatever the case may be. They didn't like me. So they came back to me, right? Most of them I just disregard, right? But some of them that came directly to me, right? And I drugged their ass out. I drugged their ass out because they came directly to me, right? Try to tell me some stuff that I know is not true and want me to push that agenda for them, want me to steer all of the people watching me to their platforms, right? so that they can sell their stuff. That ain't what I'm here for. I don't care if you sell your shit. If you sell it, you sell it. I'm on here because I care about my people. I care about how we've been deceived. And I had to figure out a way to explain what I'm seeing in the simplest terms, because Elijah said, make it plain enough for a baby to understand it.
I see.
Right? Malachi said, use right knowledge, right wisdom, and right understanding, and then you'll be able to see the whole of the problem. Most of us don't know that every problem, the answer is in the problem. The solution to the problem is in the problem itself. So when you look back on our history and you see what's going on, then Mark Vasey got told on by a nigga. Gabriel Prosser got told on by a nigga. Even the fictitious story in Nat Turner, it was some Negroes that told them where Nat Turner was at, hiding in that hole in the woods. They would have never knew he was there.
Facts.
So we gotta be fighting somebody that looked like us. The pale face was the rules. They used them to block us out of the institutions while they systematically shut down everything that we had. They shut our banks down, burned our banks down. We had banks all over the land, but every bank was specific to their family. Family banking. You got to go back to family banking. Right? Because that's how you decentralize the banks.
That's going back to those minerals we've been talking about. Gold, silver is going into effect 2026, 2027. Gold and silver, pretty much. You look it up in your own, wherever you're at. Gold and silver is going to be the new currency. So you might want to start collecting while you can. Silver, really, gold is distraction. Silver is the way to go, if I'm being 100% honest with you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Gold not a distraction. It's just that the price of gold now is steadily climbing because the demand is leaning on gold as the primary currency.
Mm-hmm.
When you look up the currency of kings, it's going to be gold. When you look up the currency of rulers, it's going to be silver. Right? And you go from there to that's the world's currency.
Say it one more time, OG.
I said that's the world's currency. Gold, silver, platinum, and diamonds. Those are the most useful and the most expensive of the metals and crystals.
That's why I say we ain't on here entertaining. We can't be entertaining. We're not doing all the other stuff. We talking about strip. It's Monday. We talking about minerals. Copper is one of the minerals from Monday. Legba. Are you familiar with the Legba, OG? Papa Legba. Yeah. And the energy from copper. Copper going up too.
You know, copper. They took the copper out of the houses and replaced it with the.
They replaced with what now? Say that last part again. What would they replace copper with?
PVC piping, plastic pipes.
Damn, that's crazy.
Would you happen to know why?
Well,
plastic.
Say it again.
Go ahead. No, I want to hear your guess. So the plastic produce something called PCBs. Those are carcinogens, cancer-causing agents. Whereas copper ionizes the water through the friction of the water running through the copper piping. Right? And they knew they suspected that we were staying resistant to their pharmaceuticals because the copper in the pipes bolstered our immune system. You got people selling copper cups now. Go listen to why they sell copper cups.
Yes,
They tell you
sir.
the benefits of drinking water out of copper. But you're not supposed to cook in copper. Yeah. You're not supposed to cook in copper. Because then you get the negative copper ions that's toxic when you heat up the copper. You're not supposed to cook in aluminum because the byproduct of heating up and cooling down aluminum is called fluoride, aluminum fluoride. If you go in the kitchen and pull out a aluminum sheet pan, I don't care how long ago you washed it, once it's dry, run your finger across it, that black residue is fluoride. It's a side effect of the oxidization of the aluminum, right? It's like rust is the side effect of the oxidization of iron,
Yeah,
right?
but in that cast iron.
hmm So them old black skillets, the iron, remember, all these women now are suffering iron deficiency. That's causing them to have irregular menstrual cycles, excessive bleeding, hemorrhaging, tumors in the uterus because of an iron deficiency, right? And some of them bleed so heavy that every other year or so they have to have a blood transfusion, and they can't tell these women why they can't keep enough blood in their system, right? But when they used to cook in them cast iron skillets, them black skillets that our grandmama and them got, they didn't have them problems.
I say.
They didn't
Real
have them
talk.
problems. If you go look at the old witches' cauldrons, they made out of cast iron,
Yeah.
right?
Tell them. Yo.
That's them old cauldrons is what you used to cook for the family in. Go back and watch this movie called Mandingo. You'll see this big old pot that they boiling this water in, and they tell Ken Norton, Lord, what a hot. If you look at the pot, it's a big cast iron pot. That pot was usually used to cook for everybody on the farm, right? And then they substituted it with toxic metals to replace the benefits that you got from the iron being melded into the food. You know, so it's they show us, but we don't know what we be looking at half the time because you got to be knowledgeable about the metals, the effect of the metals on the body to know what they actually showing you, right? And so you say, why would somebody have a pot big enough to bath a man in? Some of our farms had 300, 400, 500 people on them before they turned them into plantations.
Say. I
Right?
see.
They turned them into plantations because Uncle Joe was 68. So by the time she got 30, he was dead. Now she just Big Mama. She got it from here now. Come in with the new talk to brand, looking like Django, seducing Big Mama, marry her, kill her off, and now he got control of the family farm. He becomes a de facto slave master. That's why we didn't like the house nigga. Because we knew he killed Big Mama and sold the farm on the sharecropper agreement. They intended to do that. That was deliberate. It wasn't like it wasn't part of their plan. And I know this because when King George commissioned the first bar association, he told them to use the legal system to take everything they can from us. It's in the document as part of the charter out of Savannah, Georgia. I think it was 1863. So the grace period is 1862 to 1865. But commission your court system. They courts have nothing to do with us. They courts is all they are is tribunals. They courts have nothing to do with justice. They're military. Was flying the Abbey. Every admiralty flag.
You
Can you hear
there?
me? Yep. Can
Yeah,
you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. Every admiralty flag make each one of them courtrooms a ship. Every judge is a captain of a ship. He's not really the captain, he's really the first mate, because the captain is the clerk. Right? But because the judge sits on the bench, right, that's called at bar. The judge sits at the bar. But we ain't talking about the nightclub, we're talking about a sandbar. When you go to court and you standing on the outside of the bar, they always tell you, come on, right on up, step up, right? Jurisdiction.
They chopping you up real bad.
If you look at the warrant, it's what you want to do?
Man, they chopping you up real bad, like real bad. I wanna does anybody have any more questions for the chief? You there, Chief?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. Now you going in on it, and like I say, you giving the free gems away, but they blocking it. Like I say, every time you start getting like deep into something, they start chopping you up real bad. But I appreciate your time. I ain't trying to waste your time at all, man. I appreciate your time, and most definitely, I'm gonna catch you on one of the a little stronger platforms. This is the first one, man. My apologies to everybody, because like we got to give Rod his flowers right here, right, doing this and giving out good information. Like he said, certain minerals are helping these women. What you got to say about the matriarch right now, OG? Like if you had a message to, like, we always talk about the chiefs and everything else, what message do we have to matriarchs right now? Because they're the main ones being attacked right now.
All I could tell him was Rod working on it. I'm trying to get y'all back where y'all supposed to be on the land. The women on the land, the men protected. If we don't understand that, we still lost in the toss.
Man, my homie, Women Make Heaven, he's working on free affordable, well, not affordable living, but free living of magnetic energy. That's not a new thing. That's something that's always been around. So the more of us get into the stone technology and everything else, like I said, we're not here for the entertainment aspect. We're here to actually show you about investments, energy, electromagnetic frequency protection, etc., etc. And all this is out there. So it's like, start studying these stones, the shungite, these tektites, what they do. You got anything else from Chief?
Yeah,
Right.
look in the copper farming while we talk about these metals.
Copper farming?
Yeah, because they use copper rods to enhance the frequency in the earth to give off better crops.
I say.
So if y'all got a family garden or something, y'all might want to look into adding copper. You know how you stake your tomatoes? Stake them with copper rods. Just so you can get that copper, because it's really drawn from the electromagnetic field of the earth to feed etheric energy into the plant, which makes it more convertible in the human biology. Right. So it's the energy, the plasma being focused into the soil that's allowing the produce to produce much more abundantly. You know, we've been doing all kind of farming for thousands of years. That's where you get your three sisters method from. Right. So the three sisters is commonly corn, beans, and I think it's one more. Corn, beans, but it's like a symbiotic relationship.
Corn, beans, potatoes, right?
I don't know if it's potatoes, but it's another vegetable. Right. So it might be, but the beans traveled up the corn stalk. Right. So when you picking corn, you picking beans.
At the same time.
Yeah. Remember, before they had slavery over here, we was already planting cotton and picking cotton on our own farms. But when they started forcing us to amp up production for industrialization is when it became excessively labor intensive, because now that we got quotas to meet when we never had a quota, right? We used to know how to pick the cotton the best way possible, but now we have to increase the speed, and it's ruining the hands of the cotton picker, right? So a lot of the history is being told, but it's being told with a reverse twist to it, an alternate spin, in order to confuse you about what was taking place. But if you look up, we was making denim when they got here. Denim came from the tribes. Denim made out of cotton.
Facts,
right?
Yeah.
And we gave cotton to Egypt. We gave cotton to Egypt. That's where you get your Egyptian cotton sheets from. The Egyptian cotton came from over here. This is where cotton originated from.
No, I say it all the time. Like, if we just have the South, if we just control the South, we would pretty much control the whole world, because it's like all the energy is still projected off the South. The guy that said, "Hey, Rod," they heard of that squash. Kevin said, "Do you have your own YouTube channel?"
No, I don't have my own YouTube channel. When I go live on my own, it's going to be on my Instagram, The Sick Ape, or it's going to be on my Facebook, Rod Hayes.
And like I said, you catching him live right now. He got his Cash App up. I'm gonna get his Cash App back up again. You support Chief, man. Send him $5. Send him something, man. Because he be giving us a lot of free information, free gems. So also, we were talking about the planning and everything else. We need to start talking about getting into gardening. Just simple stuff, like simple stuff that you have in your kitchen, you can throw into the garden and it grows rapidly. Green onions grow fast. Potatoes grow fast. Okra grows fast. A lot of different things we need to be paying attention to, especially when we're at the brink of a whole lot of different war. And the universe gonna do what the universe gonna do, and they're gonna protect who they're gonna protect. But like I said, pay attention. Yellowstone, proper preparation prevents poor performance. Pay attention to everything. We're at war with everybody right now. Everybody fighting for attention as indigenous Americans. Everybody fighting for our attention and fighting for our, you know what I'm saying, for all sorts of different things. They fighting for our energy. So yeah, man, this I'm most definitely want to start doing more videos about crystal technology, talking about free energy. I got another brother that I'm gonna bring on probably tomorrow speaking on it. But yeah, right. And then like I said, the matriarch, like you said, hold on, love and light, Orisha, most gratitude for the, I just can't read it right now. Peace, Miss Wendy Blue, thank you. But yeah, man, other than that, OG, you got any other message you want to put out there? Like I said, it was so much going on, and then we were catching so much technical difficulty. You know what I'm saying? I know it's a lot we want to put out there, but I appreciate your time anyway. But anything else you got to say to the tribe?
Last thing is this. Remember, I told y'all, when it's over, I'm going to just disappear for about 6 months. That's because I want to spend some time with my family, and I don't want to be doing no social media. I don't want to be doing nothing on social media, right? So I'm not gonna be on here. It's like I told them. They were saying, "What Larry gonna do when he get out?" I said, "Go spend time with his family." I ain't gonna hear from Larry until it's time for him to give a public address.
I see.
In the meantime, wherever Larry be at, he gonna be wherever his family at.
No, OG, that's why I had to get you on here, man. One, because this is a library. This is a library. Sometimes it don't always be. I ain't have time to try to do the theatrics and all the other stuff. But just having you on there speaking about some real stuff that we can actually utilize in our life. You gave him about the copper. You gave it to him about the cast iron skillets. That can change your life. That can help you with fibroid tumors. That can help you with all these different things that's attacking our women. We ain't worried about everybody. We worry about our women. All the gender wars and shit that they out there promoting, like bro said, this is a lot of stuff that people are studying you and putting stuff out there in order to start gender wars, in order to start culture wars and everything else. So right now, the biggest thing we need to be doing is find your tribe, finding your, and linking up and being like finding your purpose in this universe. Like start gardening. I don't care what it is. Throw some watermelon seeds outside. Throw some pumpkin seeds outside. Learn what you got going on. sometimes you got to take time for yourself. Yeah, for real, OG, man, we appreciate you. They said sometimes you got to take time for yourself with your family. And like I say, that goes back to this whole 3D reality thing. You got people getting downloads from the ethers, still having to deal with this 3D reality, still got to pay lights, still got to do all these other things. That's why I really be trying to support all these esoteric entrepreneurs, the tarot readers, the readers, the healers, the Ashe Network, all these different people, like even Karu. Shout out to him for putting out good information, sound information. I don't care what nobody's doing it for, as long as the information getting out there and it's waking our people up and it's unifying who's going to unify. Because at the end of the day, we got type shit. You know what I'm saying? I say thank you for that. God, what you say, OG? Oh, somebody said they tried to look. Oh, somebody tried to look for your Cash App. Say it one more time for him.
My Cash App is $, capital SIK, capital APE.
Vicky, can you put in the comment section for me, please? Real quick for him. If you're still there, Vicky, can you put that in the comment section?
There's $, capital SIK, capital APE.
Capital A.
My PayPal was, I had to end up because Cash App was blocking me. So a lot of people was trying to get me to get PayPal before I end up having to open a PayPal account. So my PayPal account is at SIK801. It's Rod Hayes at SIK801. That's my PayPal.
Appreciation for the love. If there is a science behind wearing feathers, yeah, most definitely. Every time, everything is science, especially when you're at Orisha stone, with every stone, every feather, every herb, all that. You know what I'm saying? So mine, I'm not gonna put it out there for what it is. OG, no, but mine's respect that I'm talking to a big chief, Rod Hayes. This Chief Pontiac. I'm Chief Sky Serpent. So, like I said, it ain't always for the entertainment. We can't put on the different masks. We can only be ourselves, and if this is the place to be ourselves, is to connect to like-minded individuals. So each feather represents something. Each cut represents something. These are I can't really say too much on this on platforms. You know how they go. Not against what your question, but more so against whatever they got to say about certain feathers or whatnot. But yes, most definitely. Chief Sky Serpent, look it up. Red Tails, Florida. Yeah, Chief, man. Anybody else? Or did you want to speak on that, Chief? Specific about wearing feathers in your hair?
You know, the feathers is the representation of your auric field. When you see your picture of Jesus Christ with the halo around his head, over here we don't have a halo. We have the war bonnet, right? It's the same
with the feathers,
symbolism. Yeah, it's the same symbolism.
Your other phone is you cut the other phone off?
Yeah.
Now what you were saying?
So the war bonnet around the head is the same as the aura or the halo around the head. When you have what's called the dragon tail feathers, that's when the feathers run all the way down your back, down to the ground. That's your auric field. Yeah. That's a nice piece right there, Stone.
Which one? This one?
That big dragon.
Oh, this is all right. So this is 200 years old. This is over 250 years old. That's from China. But the cool thing about this one, this is from Florida. That's the Kissimmee. That's when the Seminoles with the Tamukawa had that song, that country song called the Kissimmee River Serpent, or the Kissimmee River. I gotta remember that it was an old song they used to sing. It was a Cherokee song, and they were talking about the dragon of the Kissimmee River. That's the history, how long we've been doing. And if you look at this, they say Seminoles, but I know they just saying that it could have been any tribe of people. But the tribe that was down there, I want to say the Yamasee or whatever, they had afros. So they carved this there. And that one is a piece of American history, that dragon. You see what I'm saying? The whole Florida. Right? So each one
the afro means the same thing as the war bonnet. It's the halo.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And then also we all fall under the all of us, no matter what. If we're gonna be serious, 11-11, I say, if we're gonna be serious about this, all of us fall up under the matriarch. We say so. We fall up under the matriarch. We all fall under the feather of Mayat, and the feather Mayat, or even when Anubis say he's gonna judge your heart to see if your heart is heavier than the feather,
lighter than the feather. Yeah.
Feather. So all those different things. If you rocking the feathers, you're trying to live by that feather. I'm trying to live by Mayat, and of course, ain't nobody living by Mayat. But if you look at those 42 laws of Mayat and try to live to those codes, you see what I'm saying? I'm a master student. Every day we try. You know what I'm saying? So, for me, like I said, I can't speak too much of what kind of feathers these are. But yeah, everything has a purpose, and it's not even just American. Like they be trying to divide everybody, but in every culture, the feathers there. In every culture, we have the turquoise. In every culture, we rocking these stones, these meteorites, these tektites. King Tut had this Libyan desert glass on his chest plate with lapis lazuli all around it. Magnets. This is how they're moving these big statues, and we're acting like they move this with manual labor. No, they're using magnetic stones, black basalt, all these different things. So I'm just one of the master students that I want to start the conversation, because somebody else might put in the comments, no, man, you got to realize this stone right here, if you add to this stone, it produces energy, it produces or it conducts energy or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So that's all we do. We keep learning from each one, teach one. I appreciate your time. That's why I had to catch a couple with you, OG, because I know when you set it down, you're gonna be down for a minute. But man, we appreciate you, man. Keep pushing up for the matriarch, because once they wake up, it's game over. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, but like that's a whole conversation for another time. They say thanks for the info on the further. Anything else, Chief?
Yeah, hold on 1 second. I'm trying to find this. I'm gonna be doing a master tarot class with got the GDD tarot.
Say it one more time, Chief.
So I said I'm gonna be doing a master tarot class, right? The gonna be got the drop GDD tarot on YouTube. So me and her trying to get it all ironed out when we gonna do it. But that might be the last one I do for a while. I don't know yet.
I gotta catch you one more. I gotta catch you one or two more, man. Because like I said, we be packed with information, and we were breaking up a lot today. But I gotta catch you one or two more and put it in the archive.
Oh yeah, that's that energy though, that frequency. Once you start, yeah, then me and you together, that's just too much energy. You showed us a dragon from China, and then you showed us a dragon from Florida. Right? They're almost similar in design. That's the Nagas. Those were the old Atlantean gods. Right? The return of the ancient ones. Yep. Yep. Dragon mean master. Right. And it's making reference to spitting fire, or as they say in modern times, spitting game.
Look, yeah, 5% type shit.
Yeah. So like Farrakhan can give you a 9-hour speech and you won't even be tired. He be sitting up there just talking, right? But that's called a dragon. It's in Egypt, it was called the master of the Husia, authoritative utterance with exceptional insight. There's not a whole lot of speakers that you can listen to longer than a couple of hours. That's
a talent within itself.
He can hold your attention for 4-5 hours. That's a dragon. He's spitting flames.
Bobby Hemming energy. Bobby energy. Yeah. No, man, I ain't gonna lie to you, OG. When I first got into it, like that, the thing about me, and I'll make this quick. When I was young, I was always into like glass snakes. I'm a country boy from Florida. You know what I'm saying? We see the glass snakes run up the road, turtles, all this, not knowing what we into. Whole time, these are totem spirit guides, spirit animals. So the serpent, even the turtle, all these things, like you said, go back to our reptilian mind, but it also goes into when they become their master self, or like this ain't even my final form. When they get to their master self, they become the dragon. The snake becomes the dragon. The crocodile becomes so big. is one of the dragon gods. But I've seen, like, when they say it represents master, it also represents dragon too. Because like I've seen dragons before in real time. I know that sounds crazy, but I've seen dragons in real time. They say they manifest respect to the Monte, respect to the Monte, respect to the Monte. They manifest themselves, and it's like when they say you got to chase the dragon now, it's like you might see it one time, you might not never see it again.
Well, look,
But
the word. What do the word dragon literally mean, though?
Teach me.
I mean, terrible lizard. Right. So if it means terrible lizard, an alligator is a dragon. A Komodo dragon is a dragon. A monitor lizard is a dragon. Right. They even got lizards in South America that literally spit fire. That it is not. It's liquid fire, but it's still fire. It's gonna burn your ass up when he spit on you. It ain't gonna burn your whole body, but wherever it land at, you getting burned there. You gonna have some nice little burns.
Man, look, that whole energy. People going back to when we first started, because I know we didn't tap all the way into it about the DNA. Because, like I said, I'm still learning myself. But when you talk about the DNA bloodlines and the RH negative and the other ones, the RH positive, I guess if you want to call them, and you're talking about the bloodlines of Hanuman, the other bloodline would be that dragon bloodline, that Naga bloodline. And back in the day, or the Nomo, or the Nomo bloodline. And back in the day, now we look at it like, oh my God, reptilians. But the whole time, that's one of them things that they did, that they've always done to us. They made us say it ourselves type stuff. You are the dragon. I'm the dragon. Just like Oshun, Oya is a dragon. Shango is a dragon. Dambala is a dragon. Rainbow Serpent is a dragon. All these different places. You know what I'm saying? So to get to the top of it. But yeah, man, appreciate it, OG, man. Yo, anything else you want to plug anybody before you go? Again, big shout out to the Quetzalcoatl. Yeah, he knows something. That bluebird, this is right too. Quetzalcoatl. I'm the avatar. I'm the avatar Quetzalcoatl. Yeah, most definitely. Quetzalcoatl or OG is the avatar of Thoth, which is still Quetzalcoatl. Thank you for sharing the evaluation. Yeah. Okay. No, man, appreciate it, man. Next time we'll be a little bit more organized. And what you say, Chief?
I said, yeah, Quetzalcoatl, right? What's the other one? Teotihuacan. All of that's the same person, different time frames.
Veracucci. That's why I wanted to I'm gonna be honest with you. That's why I wanted to have a conversation with Bull. What's his name? Say his name again. Camirio. Because he's giving some. He's down there. I think his name's Camirio. I might be saying his name wrong. No disrespect. But the one we were talking about earlier, doing the live with, I know if I get y'all on there, that's going crazy. That's gonna go crazy. And he's giving like all of it is pieces to a puzzle. So he was telling me, because somebody had told me this was Talak. It was a gift to me from Mexico, and they gave me this Quetzalcoatl. Actually, they gave me these. So both of them represent that deity. But he was like, "Yo, that's the key to the Stargate," and he was breaking it down. And that's why I was like, "Yo, sometimes we all got pieces to this puzzle." You know what I'm saying? So, 1 second. Check this out. They gave me this when we went down there in Mexico, right? Boom. And you already know I had to put my extra little stones on there and whatnot. But Marcus, cool.
Oh yeah, that's a nice piece too.
That's all jade, turquoise, moldavite, peridot. And yeah, that's pure jade. And they gave me this. I know you can't really see that, but that's the one I'm always wearing. And dude was breaking it down like, yo, that's a key to a Stargate. So I'm listening to him, and that's why I don't even have to be on the race thing, because that's the dumbest argument, the race part. When you get into the stone aspect of it and technology, he was literally showing me a Stargate that they were big stone. I think they were made out of basalt or maybe granite, and that's a whole nother subject within itself of understanding the power of granite and basalt or black basalt. But they made a Stargate of this deity called Veracucci. I believe I'm saying the name right, which still translates into Quetzalcoatl. And he keeps coming back, keeps coming back. So he's the avatars. Consequados, just like the Queen Khalifa reign, the Consequados is just a title. Just like you say, the bookman is the title of the person who's gonna be the avatar of that spirit at that moment. So you're the avatar of Thoth.
Everything's gonna be all right. I'm coming back.
I say,
Like
reflection.
Them thugs and G's are happy that I'm coming back. Straight to the hood.
Appreciate everybody, man. Thank y'all for sticking with us through all the technical difficulties and everything else. I know that was a hard one. The next one's gonna be better. Man, appreciate everybody that supported Rod. If you fuck with this one, give us a like. Follow us, look at some of our old videos. Cause me and Rod got a whole little collection. So just pull up Orisha Stone and Rod. If you want to support Orisha Stone, you can check my Instagram out or just hit me up, inbox me. And we do all sorts of custom esoteric jewelry or just fly stuff in general. You know what I'm saying? We carve stones. You can get your investment game up with us. We sell everything, platinum, gold, silver. We make investments in storage units, all sorts of stuff. So tap in with us, you know what I'm saying? So other than that, OG man, peace to the guys.
Peace to the gods.
Yes, sir. Bliss.